And we are back. Thank you for sticking with us on our break. We're going to hop right back into the action. Zawadi has left to go pick up refreshments, collect refreshments for whomever this Stanley washes. Lieutenant Colonel John Patterson is refreshed into new clothes and is heading that direction. And Arjun would have stopped into the hospital to inform Dr. Chase you need to get to the railway platform. Then he's going to leave. He has 8 people with him that have everything from concrete mix to shovels and wheelbarrows and things of that nature, and they're going to wind up heading west. So the easiest thing for me to do, which I'm just going to take the liberty to do because I'm keepering, is to bring us all together at the same time onto the platform. I am curious of body language as we're approaching. I'm going to save Irene for last, but I'm going to start with Zwadi. We're going to hop over to Chase, the Colonel, and then end with Irene. I just want a 5 to 10 second snippet of what this looks like when the camera pans in on your character approaching this platform. So let's start with Zwadi.
Zawadi actually wouldn't be the one who's going to be delivering the drink. He will have one of the sort of kitchen staff, but he will escort the kitchen staff who are carrying a cool glass of water on a tray up to him, and he is staying bolt upright. The uniform is as straight as possible. And your water, sir. And the colonel, will be here post haste, as will our camp doctor. They have all been notified.
Oh, he sucks his teeth at Camp Doctor, but he does take the water. He doesn't say thank you. Dr. Chase.
Yes, of course. I am going to approach with a compact mirror open. The makeup has long since there's nothing in it, but I'm just checking myself and pretending that I don't care about. Have we been informed yet how the characteristics of this gentleman? Do we know his temperament and his like have I been informed that he's not necessarily thrilled that I'm a woman?
Nope. Arjun just said you need to get over there. You're about to face
It's
plant
fine.
into this one.
I will approach and I will extend a hand and I will say, how do you do? I heard you're looking for the best, and that's me.
He looks down at that hand and he looks up at you and he looks back down at that hand. He says, "You're the camp doctor."
I am. And you are?
Waiting for leadership. He takes a sip of his water and turns away from you.
Oh, how lovely. Well, I'm sure he'll be here in any moment. In the meantime, if there's anything I can do for you, and I will look to this woman and I will say in Swahili, or you, please let me know.
So, 2 things happen simultaneously here, Dr. Chase. When you speak to that woman, she winces, almost like it's more like a flinch. She flinches and she continues to keep her eyes on Wash's heels. Wash stops, turns to you, looks you dead in the face. It's like you don't have permission to speak to it. So don't.
I speak to whom I wish. Your money does no good here. My medicine does.
Patterson, give us your 5-10 second arrival.
Oh yeah, I've changed into a clean outfit, clean uniform. It's probably yeah. So I'm ready, and I know that I was told kind of what was happening, so I'm prepared. But I don't know how mad I'm gonna get. Like I'm like level. There's like levels here. If this guy's like a borer, then I'm coming at him with like British Empire stuff. If he's English as an Irishman, I'm probably going to come at him with a different level of hostility, but like so that I'm prepared to not like this guy on lots of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's obviously also an enslaver. So I'm just teeing myself up for like how hard am I gonna have to come down on him?
Okay.
Um,
What does this look like as you approach the railway platform?
I think I think it's just it's a little bit more. I think it's very much like the number one annoyance is that I have to come talk to this guy at all, because I got a lot of other stuff.
You got shit
that
to
I'm
do
worried
today,
about.
right?
Yeah. Like the number one annoyance is that you are on my to-do list at all.
Yeah.
And then like, if you're going to be disrespectful, which I haven't necessarily encountered the interactions that have preceded this yet. But like my staff is my staff, and like these people are competent in their jobs, and if you're going to disrespect them and not believe them, then we're gonna have words, right? So yeah, I am not rushing exactly, but I am like forcefully like walking up. Okay, let's get this interaction, these formalities, let's complete them as quickly as possible. No illusion of the barest illusion of civility, right? Like this is not a situation that I want to be doing, and certainly not on his timetable.
So the second you hit the stairs and you're cresting the platform, just naturally everyone turns to look to you. Everyone except for Karuba, who keeps her eyes locked on the Wash's ankles. And he turns to you, looking you over, and there's just this relief that whoever this gentleman is, it's just this wave of relief that comes over his face. He says, you must be Lieutenant General John Patterson. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. And he's walking over to you. He takes the glass of water that's been handed to him. He kind of like slams it into this girl's chest, to which she kind of like stumbles, and she grabs it and she holds it. And he comes over to you with his hand extended. He's like, Stanley Wash, it is a pleasure to meet you.
I think I don't know. This isn't like I don't know how. I think I'm keeping those hands behind my back with like the like maybe squeezing my own hands, but I'm not like ready to handshake this person. I am like reserve and at parade rest, right? Like I'm here like hello, sir. Welcome to our camp. How can I assist you today? What is?
He looks at your elbows, and he looks at your hips, and he looks at the fact that his hand is extended and yours isn't, and he looks offended. He sucks at his teeth for a moment, and he looks to you and is like, is etiquette not something we practice in Africa anymore? I've extended a hand to you as a gentleman. I expect it to be extended back.
I will sigh, not sigh, but like whatever's below that. Been like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to.
It's a tough situation for what it's worth.
Right. Gentlemen, I need to like know more about this guy. Is he like like I was saying, is he like an Englishman? Is he like just a like what's his, is he like a gentleman? Like how is he dressed? Like
given the way that he's put together, that he's dressed, he's definitely coming from a high credit rating, from a position of wealth. He's parading around a slave right now, which is like kind of doubling down on his appearances and his wealth. He's twirling a cane that he's obviously not using for any type of mobility. So this is definitely an individual that's coming from money. Accent uncertain, but you're thinking British, but how many of you guys stayed in Africa and enjoyed the spoils? So that's what you're getting off of him. And he had enough audacity to check you on the fact that you were below etiquette standards by not shaking his hands.
Yeah. Well, sir, it's just that you're not quite dressed for the environment. You're not, we do things differently here. And I'm going to like look at him and also look at the lady that he's brought with him here. Mm-hmm. And like, I think I want to tell him that legal thing that you read to us earlier, that like, I am duty bound to inform you that this is you are engaging in illegal practices under the British Empire, and you I think there's probably some sort of like I will as a courtesy, as a gentleman, tell you that the train platform is not is neutral, but you can't if you were to leave here, then you would be arrested for your crimes.
And he looks to you with this almost incredulous, like, really? That's the card we're going to play today? It's not that he's bored, but as much as he's like, really? What is going on with this camp? What is going on with you people? And he's getting ready to serve all of that to you, hot and ready on a cold platter. And that's when Irene Beckett appears. Irene, what is your demeanor as you approach?
Generally hostile. Because I was finally getting some answers on the weird things happening in camp. Also was having a nice drink. And suddenly I've been forced to abandon all of that because of something clearly irrelevant.
Full hostility. You approach the platform, and the second your right boot crunches into the sand and the dust of the first step, the glass that Karubo was handing, that was pretty much thrown at her, slips from her hands and it shatters. And for the first time, she's not looking at Wash's feet. She's looking directly at you. And this is allegedly a handout, but I forgot to send it to you as a handout. So you're about to get it as me reading it out loud to everybody. That's my bad, homie. I don't even have a good excuse. I had a month to prepare for this. Here's your handout, Irene. You have seen her face at the bottom of many bottles. She is the nightmare laid coiled beneath your pillow for nearly a decade. Karubo, that young girl from the village of Nico. You were hired to kill a lion, but instead you accidentally killed a girl. How could you have made that type of mistake? But most importantly, how is that girl standing alive before you right now? You saw your bullet wound in her chest, raw and rotting, the light fading from her eyes. Her people were performing the death ritual. That's when you left. There's no way she could have survived that wound. There's no way that girl could be standing in front of you right now. It's like inhaling the air full of ghosts of your sins. And what's worse, she hasn't aged a day in 10 years. I need you to roll me a sand check, please.
Okay. That is a 91, so that's a fail.
Oh, I'm super excited for everybody today. That's going to be a 2-point loss. What is your involuntary reaction to the sand loss? This is not about or anything. This is just you lost at least 1 point. What is you flinch, you jump, whatever. What's your involuntary reaction?
Freeze to the spot. Find myself not breathing for a few moments. And they'll probably be quite audible when I do suddenly realize I need to breathe. It'll be a bit of a gasp.
That gasp is followed by a second gasp as Stanley Wash's hand reaches across and backhand the girl for dropping the glass. You fool, he shouts out. And you're all together.
I physically put myself between them at that act of violence. Okay. So be careful. There's broken glass here. You might want to take a step back. I don't know what it does in England, but here it cuts people.
He takes a step back.
Zodway's fists clench tightly, but he's got, sadly, because of the politics of this time, he can't act. But for those of you can see the fist clenching and unclenching.
We will turn and look at her for any lacerations or cuts or anything that I can do to help her in this moment, since a glass bomb just went off at her feet.
Glass bomb, it's okay. It shattered. It doesn't look like she was cut or injured. You look at her in the face and she's still, even after that reel, she's still looking at Irene Beckett. And there's something really heartbreaking there. Chase, this is a girl that's used to being hit across the face. Her recovery time was way too immediate. And even still, something is trumping that trauma.
Can I get you something? Let's start at the beginning. My name is Dr. Chase. And I'll extend a hand.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to assist in a way. Like, I want to draw Walsh's attention to myself and like let the doctor have this conversation. I'm like gonna kind of not talk over her, but like direct my attention, like trying to get his attention, so that, because I've already observed this dynamic of them being real close together. So I want to assist by cutting in and saying, like, again, not to cut their interaction off, but to allow to get Walsh to talk to me about, like, what brings you here today? How can we help you conclude what you need to do and move along?
Love it.
Like, let's talk this business. And I'm going to invite him to actually step away toward me so that we can talk. Like, I'm going to pull him down this train
let's talk
platform.
down
like,
here. Let's talk down here.
Come on. And like, I'm not going to take my hands out behind my back. I'm going to nod with the head. Like, well, sir, what brings you here today? So then, like, we can have that scene, but they can finish their scene.
Perfect. So cutting over the Chase. You speak to her and she cuts her eyes, she peels, she literally snatches her eyes away from Irene Beckett, who is obviously someone at this point that she recognizes. This is not a girl with a poker face. And she looks to you, and you can tell that her pupils are dilating, and she takes a step back, but her back is already against the wall. So it's just kind of like she stumbles into herself, and she looks to you, and she just gives you a very panicked, like, shake of her head, almost trying to inform you either don't speak to me or don't be nice to me or something is wrong. But that's what you're getting from her. It's like she's shaking her head, trying to convince you to back down from something.
Well, no, it's all right. And I will take a step back as well to give her. I've entered a bubble that I wasn't welcomed into, so I will take that step back. I'm here to help you. That. I will speak in very broken. I have not learned Swahili. My mental RAM has been put other places, but I know the basic words to get by. And so I will, in very broken Swahili, say, I'm trying to help. I'm here for you. Anything that will encourage this woman to feel okay. Any single words that I know, I will try and throw her way, just to let her know that I'm trying to meet her in her space, in her language, in her, with as much respect as I can.
Yeah. There's a moment of almost panic, as she's not pinned to the wall because you've given her some additional space, but she's looking left, she's looking right. She can't stop looking over at Irene, and she can't stop checking the heels of Wash, even as he's being pulled away to have a conversation with Patterson. It's almost like it's not that she's frenzied, but it looks like she's just overstimulated, overwhelmed. There's a lot happening right now, and then somebody showing her kindness on top of it. It's like it does not compute. And she goes to speak to you, and when her jaw drops and her lips part, you can tell that she doesn't have a tongue.
I will turn wherever Walsh is. I will put my back to him so that he cannot hear or see what I'm saying. I need to know right now, is this something that he did to you?
And she shakes her head no. And you know it's not uncommon for slaves to be penalized with the extraction of a tongue. But she does shake her head no.
It's all right, you can tell me.
She shakes her head no.
He doesn't matter. And I will notice that she keeps staring at Irene, and I will just say, she doesn't matter either. I matter right now. I can help you. Is the person who did this to you Anywhere near here?
And she shakes her head no. And she glances back down at Irene, almost with a pleading, help me type of face.
I am sorry that this happened, and I don't know that I can fix it, but I hope to fix your situation.
And tears well in her right duct, and you can just see that she starts crying from the left side of her face.
Are you hurt anywhere else? Anything? A cut, a bruise, anything?
And the best she can do is just shake her head no, which is joggling tears in her right eye now at this point. I'm going to hop down to Zawadi and... no, you're good. I'm going to hop down to Zawadi and Irene, just because we haven't checked in on them with this scene, and this is a high-tension scene. Actually, because this is a high-tension scene, I'm going to call for a color check. Green light, give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right, so that's across the board with a green light. If it switches to yellow or red, you just need to communicate that to me. Just articulate it to me, and I'll dial back. Checking in on Zawadi and Irene Beckett. What are you guys doing in all of this?
I am trying not to stare at Karubo, but probably not really succeeding. And I think once Walsh is distracted, I will take a cautious step towards her and see how she reacts.
You can see visible relief at least settle on her shoulder with you approaching.
Well, once I'm reassured that she's not terrified of me, then I will walk up to her.
And you walk up to her, your boots sounding on the metal platform or the wooden planks of the platform. And she does a quick checkup to see that Walsh is successfully tied up with Lieutenant Colonel John Patterson. And she just unbuttons the top two buttons of her collar, and she pulls down her shirt, and it's staring you right there in the face. Irene, if you had any doubts at all that it wasn't her before, you're looking at your bullet wound in her chest. This is definitely that girl.
There'll be another audible gasp. And then I thought you were dead.
And she immediately hugs you.
I will hug her back.
Zawadi?
Zawadi is a dutiful officer at this point, standing at our attention while keeping an ear over on the conversation between Trace, Irene, and Karubo, but watching what's going on between Colonel Patterson and Wash, and periodically shifting attention, also audio attention over to that. So it's back and forth, watching, but trying to stay looking as much as possible straight ahead. So my eyes are doing the tennis match back and forth.
Yeah. You've got everything locked in on your peripherals, but you're maintaining your position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're hearing everything on both sides. So Perry, all jokes aside, just feel free to interrupt me mid-stroke and say you're jumping in to do something because you got both sides of this conversation right now. Over with Lieutenant Journal, I don't know. I can't get your position for nothing today. I'm just start saying Patterson and calling myself a damn day. Shit. Patterson, you are able to lead Wash over with you. And he says to you, he says, I don't understand the situation here. You run the camp the way you choose to run the camp. I have some criticisms, but I'm sure you're not interested in them. However, I am here for a very specific reason. We came upon something very interesting on the road. A slave, a discarded one, but he's in the most fascinating state, and I would like him to be evaluated by your camp doctor, but apparently your camp doctor is a woman, and as I said, within 50 miles, I don't have many options. So I am willing to pay you, insert blah, 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 to have your doctor examine this particular individual, to give report, and then I shall escort the body where I can in order to make additional discoveries. That's my offer.
I don't understand. This is not, the doctor where did you have the body? And I look around, like I'm kind of like, you propose to take my doctor away from her duties here at the camp to investigate
No,
something?
no, of course not. I brought the corpse with me. Would you like to see it? He's already walking away from you. You can tell that he's challenging the power dynamics here. He's being subtle about it. It's microaggressions, but he's still doing it.
Sure, sure. Is there any luggage that he has?
No, not with him. But on the other side of the rail station, you can see that he does have a wagon.
Okay.
So he has the horse and the cart and the wagon there.
I guess I'll let him, if he wants to walk over to the, I guess he's going to get off the platform and walk over to his cart or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
He could walk back out into the sun if he wants to. Like, I don't intend to accompany him to look at a corpse of a person he brought in on the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like that is.
He stops and he turns to look to you. It's like, are you not going to come witness it? It really is a spectacle.
I will admit to it not being very high on my priority list for the day, sir. And like this to me is, yeah, this is not what I need to deal with. So I'm like, I'll say that if you, the doctor keeps her own affairs in order. If she's willing to consult with you for a fee that is, on time that isn't the camp time, that's her own concern. She's a woman who keeps her own counsel, but I don't see how this involves me.
He huffs. He turns. He's getting visibly frustrated. And then he walks back up the stairs, back onto the platform, and walks directly past you. And he's going to go to Dr. Chase. Excuse me, good doctor, if I could have a moment of your time. I have a rather significant scientific discovery that I think would be worth your attention. I am willing to pay for your time if you'd be so kind as to just simply come and witness the spectacle.
All right, Mr.
Wash. Mr. Wash,
Bosch?
that's the name. Wash.
Okay. Yes, after you, Mr.
He's
Bosch.
He's gonna turn and then march directly past Patterson, giving you the biggest frustrated side eye, and he's gonna lead you to this wagon.
I'll be back in just a moment. In the meantime, can you make sure that that young woman is all right?
Would you
Excellent.
say
Thank
that
you.
she requires immediate hospital treatment?
Oh, I'll get to that with Mr. Wash in a moment.
That's a sly move, Sue. That was slick.
Yeah.
That was slick as shit. That was slick as shit. Actually, that was bonus die slick as shit. Take another one, babe. You use it whenever you want to, because that was slick as shit. Dr. Chase. Stanley Wash leads you to the back of the wagon, which he, drops down the panel and just kind of like shimmies out a tarp that has obviously a corpse on it that you can tell it's been, wrapped in more of the tarp. But he looks to you and he says, given your delicate sensibilities, I would advise that you prepare yourself for this.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bosch. Are you the doctor or am I?
No, but you are a woman. Just as flat as if that's just a state of life.
I am.
Consider yourself prepared.
Oh, I'm always prepared.
Oh, the clapbacks are so good. He pulls off the tarp. You can go ahead and make your sanity check now. Was not prepared. You can go ahead and you can make your sanity check now. You're about to hear why.
Oh, hey, I'm swimming in it.
Ooh. You're going to lose one.
I imagine that's a... No.
You're still going to lose one. Yeah, this is quite a sight. You rolled an 8, though. That's hot. Here's what you see, Dr. Chase. Beneath the thick canvas, it portrays the length of a torso, head, chest, hips, legs, and feet. But upon initial inspection, the body appears to be an African male, approximately 40 years old. He's nude. His entire body is coated with some thick, clear resin of some sort. There are several areas in this resin that appear to be shattered. Blood, tissue, muscle, and broken resin create this spiraling pattern, much like you would see with a spider web or broken glass. These areas are focused on the knees, the ankles, the hips, the shoulders, necks, and elbows, basically anywhere that would inform movement. The male has no eyes. They appear to have been forcibly removed, leaving 2 deep hollowed areas in his skull. And just further inspection as you are looking at this resin-coated corpse, it does appear that he is missing all 10 of his fingernails. You could probably pick up some more with a more thorough examination of the body, but that's your at a glance of it.
Did you say and I missed, or can I examine the mouth? Is there a tongue there?
Yeah, it's a sensation you'll never ever forget, Dr. Chase. Parting a corpse's mouth by pinching the jaw is not usually an issue, but the fact that this corpse is covered in resin, it crunches when you do so. It breaks through skin. It's like going through a layer of glass and then you're breaking through his actual skin. It takes some maneuvering, but you're able to get the jaw open, and he does have a tongue. Did I not tell you? Fascinating discovery, right?
Mr. Bosch, I am going to ask this once, and I pray that you'll be honest with me. Did you do any of this to this man?
No, of course not. I would never waste an asset like that. We found him on the road. Not far from here, actually.
Do I get the sense that that is honest?
You get the complete and total sense, even without a psychology check. He's even nosing to the point in the road that he came up to, that he came up from. He seems completely honest. Also, the comment about he wouldn't fuck an asset like this is so low that you're just like, oh, yeah, you're that guy.
Right. And what is it that you need of me? I mean, obviously, I can't bring the dead back to life. You do know what doctors do.
Cute. No, I'm completely aware of the extent of your capabilities. What I was hoping for is to pay for a more thorough examination of this corpse to perhaps determine the cause of death or where it came from or what this very curious substance is that he's coated in.
Does this substance in any way remind me of the serum that I have? Like, does it have that smell? Does it have a similar look? No. Okay.
Nope. It's a weird day in camp.
All right. So what
Something
you're
is
essentially
escalating.
doing is asking me to play coroner for a day. You want an autopsy. You want to understand what happened to this human.
Yes,
To what
apologies for
end?
not
Are
making
you
that
afraid
clear.
that this is going to happen to you, or should we not be so lucky?
He grits his teeth. He runs his tongue over his teeth. He says, "This is a significant scientific discovery. Had you been a man, you would probably recognize that immediately and would jump at an opportunity to be involved with the investigation of such a find.
Oh,
However,
no, I understand completely. I just don't understand why I need you now that I have it and I have the knowledge. What is it that you think you contribute here?
it's that staggered him. That visibly staggered him. It's my discovery. I
In what
found
way?
it.
You know nothing about it.
Very well.
Mr.
Good man.
Bosch, I don't know what you want from me. Other than to say congratulations. It's like finding $5 on the side of the road. It's technically not yours. You're still going to take it? And you don't even know what to do with it now that you have it.
Very well.
Like your money, you're worthless.
Hold on. Let me see if I have stats for him. I don't think I do. I'm about to make some stats up because actually I'm going to make a willpower check to see if he can keep his shit together because he is very irate right now. Will, fantastic role play. He hit a 65. That is probably higher than whatever I'm imagining his power is going to be. So I think he is going to lose it. And his attempt at losing it is, I don't think he would be so forward as to put his hands on you. But I think he is going to take a step in on you. He says, you've made your point clear. We're leaving. He calls up the platform to Karubo. Girl!
Oh, you're leaving. Unfortunately, she needs medical attention and she'll be staying with me.
What medical attention she requires is my responsibility, as she's my property. Or do you not understand the bounds of slavery? Ignoring everything that Patterson just told him 10 minutes ago.
I understand perfectly that she's a person, and I will pull out one of my scalpels, and I will say, my dear Mr. Bosch, I am a surgeon. It's my job to put people back together. You, however, you strike me more as a plague than a person, and I'm willing to slice you out of existence if it means the betterment for mankind.
We're cutting scenes. Take a bonus die. Fuck me. Wow. Back onto the platform with Karubo, Irene Beckett, and Zawadi. Zawadi, you still got ears on both ways. Whatever's about to happen down there at the other platform is about to happen really fast. You need to make some quick decisions because that's either about to go nuclear. Your doctor might wind up stabbing a guy. Something is about to happen here. You have followed the tension patterns that's getting ready to climax.
I'm at this point quickly and very as quietly as possible going down the stairs and putting myself more in view of the situation with the doctor and Mr. Walsh.
Okay. So you're physically you're inserting yourself, your physical presence into that particular situation.
I'm at the outer edges of it.
Okay, you're on the peripheral of it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Irene Beckett, you got Karubo that is like buried into your chest right now.
And what I would like to do is basically pick her up and carry her down towards the hospital.
And at which point I will call out, Doctor, Miss Irene is taking the young lady to the hospital. You will be needed there shortly.
And
Irene, she wraps her arms around you and she pulls her knees in and she's allowing herself to be carried.
Of course. As I turn, I would like to flick this and try and just cuff him with the edge of the blade. Like, I don't want to do real damage. I just want to, like, in those moments of a action movie where someone just gets like a little nick so that like it looks like they've had a little bit of a tussle. That's kind of what I'm aiming for here. Not like real damage in any kind of way.
Patterson, so much shit is coming down the pipeline right now. Where are you at in all of this?
Oh, it is too much shit. It is, I think I am letting my capable staff handle this situation. Like I am there to I am continuing to remain rigid, remain glowering at this unwelcome visitor to our camp. Zwadi has called out Irene's taken the lady to the hospital. Like I'm aware that Gwendolyn has done her she has Gwendolyned all over this guy in the way that she does.
The shit out of this guy.
And I am no problems detected. I'm here to communicate to Walsh that these people are acting within their prerogatives, and I support them. I told you that you were not welcome here, and I would like you. I implied that I would like you to leave, and this is things are proceeding as I desire. So that's sort of my position. But I'm also sort of I might get a nasty letter from the commission back in London, but
was the bridge made? They'll probably forgive it.
That's yeah.
Will, I need a fighting brawl, please, baby.
Sure.
I'm sure it's going to work out great for you. It's going to be fine. Nothing
fighting
poorly could come from
brawl.
this situation. Yeah,
Is this to hit him with the scalpel
this
initially?
is.
Okay.
Yep. His,
Let's
okay.
imagine that I know what that means because it's been a while since I've done any of this.
Yeah, no
Am
problem.
I rolling a percentile dice? Is that
you
what
got
I'm
it,
doing
gorgeous. Yep, you're doing a
Got
percentile
it.
dice. Your skill fighting brawl is in your skills second column. Those are listed in alphabetical order. Oh,
This would be a good moment for that bonus die.
so
Yeah, I have 2 of them, but I don't know if I still wouldn't make it.
So here's the way a bonus die works. Basically, you roll the tens column again, and if it's lower, you just factor it in. So if you want to burn one of your bonus die right now, you can roll a single D10, and it'll turn into whatever that D10 is with the 9.
Oh, I love that for me. Let's
I
see
love
what
that for you too.
happens.
Thanks, Perry.
Whoa,
Okay.
I succeed. Perry, thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes, you did. You reach out with your scalpel to solidify a point versus dodging. He's actually going to fight back with that cane that he's been twirling around. He rolled a 69, which is going to be far above his fighting brawl. So I'm going to allow you to take narrative on this one because at this point, there's a member of the police here. Lieutenant Colonel John C. Patterson, I almost got the name right this time, has ordered him to leave, and he's about to take a laceration to the face while swinging his cane and missing you. So I'm just going to give you narrative on what this looks like. You can throw him in the dirt. You can do whatever you want. You can't kill him, but just go ahead and give me narrative of what this all looks like.
Oh, I don't want to say a word. I just kind of want to chuckle under my breath as I will duck under the cane. And like I'll duck under the cane so that I am behind him.
Oh,
And I will go to like a la Sweeney Todd him with this scalpel, and instead at the last minute I'll just like nick up at the top of, instead of going across the carotid, I'll just nick like the cheek. And if Sue is in sight and in earshot, I will shout up to her. Looks like we have 2 minutes to see what this does. And I will expose the serum scalpel that I
oh
used
my God.
on this man.
And Zawadwe will turn to Colonel Patterson and say, "Assault, sir?"
Oh shit, you're muted.
Bingo! for
Bingo!
somebody.
Sorry, I didn't. Not that I saw. Not that I saw, sir.
Well, assault on the good doctor?
If she wants to press her case, perhaps.
And I'll turn and look at the good doctor.
No,
In the name
no,
of
she
science,
attacked me.
let's wait a
She attacked me.
few
No.
moments. Let's just take a breath, shall we?
Very good, ma'am.
He is staggering backwards. He is making some accusations. He is hitting below the belt with some names. He's rubbing his face that is mixed with some weird mucousy black liquid and his own blood. He quickly realizes what I need to do is get onto my wagon and leave. I can have the discovery. I can always buy another slave. And let's just do that. And that is what he is working on doing. Chat, yes, it was that scalpel. Which, side note, super hysterical, Will just rewrote the entire second half of the game, which I'm fine with. Literally
Sorry.
full rewrite. Nope, it is completely fine. I'm here for it. And that's what he's doing, is gathering his bearings to get into the wagon and get ready to leave. Cutting back over to Irene Beckett. You are back at the hospital. Adi, a boy that you've seen a couple of times, comes to the door, opens the door for you, and is kind of like helping you get in. He says, do you need a bed? Is she injured? Is she hurt?
I think you should check her over. I don't believe there's currently anything serious, but best to be sure.
Okay, could you sit her down here, please? He just points at a vacant bed.
I'll put her down where indicated and So, also, I don't believe the young lady can speak.
Irene, you go to put this girl down and she will not release her grip on you. It's kind of like trying to pull a toddler off of you that doesn't want to let go. It's one of those type of moments. You're like, all right, let's. Oh, she's still on.
Well, then I suppose I will stay a bit longer.
Could you sit? Maybe. Let me get you a chair. He goes and grabs you a chair.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Okay. And you sit down, and she will at least untangle herself enough from you where she's at least just sitting on your lap, but she seems very, very determined and very content to stay exactly where she is with you, which is mind-boggling for a moment because you killed this girl 10 years ago. Why she would want to be... I mean, she saw you with the gun. You saw the look of just shock and horror on her own face when she ate that bullet. The fact that she's so adorned to you right now is...
Yeah, very confusing.
Very confusing. Adi does a very quick once over with her, and he just says to you, it's like, she's mildly dehydrated. It looks like her tongue was removed at some point, but this looks years ago. She's otherwise okay.
Well, then get her some water.
He does so.
I'll just say to her, I really wish you could talk because I have a lot of questions.
And she looks to you and she nods and she looks down into a memory that obviously you can't see. And then her eyes scamper around and she makes that motion to you, like either a writing or a drawing motion.
You can write. Well,
She shakes her head no.
No luck there then. Well, this is rather difficult, isn't it? Is there some other way that you can communicate?
And she makes that same motion with you, like she's holding a utensil. She'll eventually take your palm and she'll start, what you can tell at least from what she's doing, is drawing something into your hand. You can't see anything, obviously. It's just flesh on flesh.
Yeah, but I'll be able to feel it. So yes, I'm going to try and make out what it is she's drawing.
Then she looks up to you almost, she stops and she looks up to you almost with a degree of obedience that makes you uncomfortable in this situation. And it looks like she's waiting for something. She's either waiting for an inquiry or something.
I'll say, I'm so sorry. Could we get someone else to help?
And she'll look over at Adi, and Adi will kind of clock the situation. And he says, "Oh, give me just a second." And he'll run and he'll come back. And he's brought, a handful of blank papers, and pens and pencils for her. To which she actually will slide out of your lap and come to the ground, and start arranging papers and pens. And then she looks at you again as if she's waiting for an inquiry.
I'll ask her, how did you survive?
And her brows furrow, and she's going to draw a picture of what you immediately recognize as a baobab tree. Image is going up right now. I think for you guys, the handout might be the oasis. And she draws that tree and she points to it.
I'll spend some time staring at the picture, trying to make sense of it. And then I'll ask, How have you not aged?
And she double points. She taps at the tree. And she staggers for a bit, and she puts her hands on either side of her face. And she begins to shake her head like this. And then she gives you the number 2.
Yeah, still looking absolutely confused.
She looks back with frustration, and then she's going to attempt to draw, to the very best of her ability, the worst stick figure she can of 2 lions.
Do you mean that the lions saved you? Or did they hurt you somehow?
She doesn't know how to answer that question, but she points back at the baobab tree.
Something more complicated then.
She nods slightly.
Is this tree nearby?
And she points. And the direction she's pointing is the same direction that those 30 soldiers or those 30 workers walked off to.
I'll nod at this point, not entirely surprised. I'll say, I think I have to visit this place. Do you want to come, or would you rather stay here?
She immediately jumps up from her feet jumps up to her feet and starts backing away. She backs into the chair. It bumps some guy with a set broken leg. He cries out. She spins and does like this apologetic wave. She bumps into the next guy, and it looks like just the question of going back there sent her into panic.
So you'll be staying here.
Cutting back over. The 3 of you are gathered around Stanley Wash, who is into the seat of this wagon. He has his reins. He's ready to cut his losses with his scientific discovery in his backseat and the loss of Karubo. And he's turning to say something to you, Chase. Some final sarcastic, sardonic asshole remark. He's got his finger pointer ready to go, and he freezes, and just this vacant look washes over his face. It's like somebody turned the lights off.
Was that? Were you going to say something? Sure, smart thing he's done all day. If I start approaching, does he move in any kind of way?
Nope, doesn't flinch. You do notice that just as more time takes, there's some flickering in his eyes. Almost looks like what you would imagine in REM sleep, like that rapid eye movement.
Fun. I'm going to put my hands on
What'd
you
you
now.
do to him?
Nothing. I mean, you saw.
Nothing!
It's a science experiment.
Yes. What are you experimenting with?
Well, there was this strange, and I will turn to Swati. You saw the quills, yes?
Yes.
And
you gave
You
him.
saw.
Oh.
I will just hold up my dripping scalpel. We didn't know what it did, and now we will.
Stanley Wash stands up. His posture is very limp. And he steps off of the platform of the carriage. But because his posture is just so surrendered, it forces him to go like face first into the dirt. Like just a flat crash. He pulls himself up. You notice he has a broken tooth. He's got blood running down his face. He's got a bruise already forming over his eye. And he stands up and his entire body shifts northeast. And he just starts walking.
That's not good.
That is what happened to the others.
Oh. There's nothing that I can do like medically right now to see what is causing this, like how the neurotoxin is working or any of that? Like,
That 9
is there
that you
anything I
rolled
can do?
earlier, I'm just going to roll it onto this one. You knew that devil's breath or whatever this particular serum is causes hallucinations and a stripping of free will, and that whoever administered it is more or less giving the instructions for it. So what he's doing is exactly what your 30 workers did this morning.
If I grab him, does he stop?
Yeah, if you grab him and stop him, he's leaning forward.
Right. Well, I think he needs more examination, so maybe we take him back to the hospital.
Quills, the others, experiments. All right, we need to all get caught up here. And I'm looking from the doctor to Zwadi and like
I'm pivoting suddenly, and I'm going to go look at the body in the back of the wagon.
Okay. You see what was previously described to you. It's a really horrendous sight, and you can give me a sand check for it.
Okay, just a second that.
Mhm.
Bigger question is, do I recognize this person?
ooh.
So I got a 25 on the sand check.
Ooh, well done. You just lose one.
As being
Yep.
one of the workers that's gone missing.
Yep, babe, this is one of your Kenyans.
This is one of our men.
I hate to
How did
point
he
out
end
the
up like
obvious,
this?
but he was neither buried nor put on a flame.
No, this is one
No,
that
no,
you
no.
assume deserted, or a lion took him. You just know that one day he wasn't here anymore.
This is not one of the ones we found remains for.
Nope.
Is the direction that the gentleman that he was trying to proceed in the same direction that he was gesticulating toward previously about where he had found this person?
It is.
Roughly the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so all our signs point in the same direction, folks. Yeah.
Then you should know that a number of the workers were concerned that these lions are not of this world. They are either the ancestors or the working of bad juju. And I'll look back at the body and look over at him. I think they were right, at least about the medicine men. There are legends amongst our people. Even stories back in my village about what happens when you run afoul of them. And this may be one of those examples.
Is there can you tell me more? Like what sort of run afoul? What do you mean?
That is for them. That is for them, but it is something they are unhappy about our presence here. Most likely, what the others have said, and they are taking their retribution, regardless of what the committee wants or your governments. These lands are older than you.
And at that point, there's a scream somewhere in the distance, and someone cries out, "Simba." Here are your initiative orders. Initiative orders in Call of Cthulhu are arranged by Dex. I have pre-consolidated all of this for us. It's going to be first on Beckett, second on Zawadi, and then Chase and Patterson are on 50. Someone has declared. This just checks out. Someone has declared Simba's, but that can't be, right? These lions don't attack during the day. But this has been a very unique day. Beckett, that's all you hear from inside the hospital. You hear somebody scream out Simba, followed by a monstrous roar, and Karubo immediately dives under one of the beds.
I will grab my rifle, which I think I've been carrying around pretty much this entire time. I'm going to run outside and try and find out where the screaming's coming from.
Okay.
You here for one job, and I might be about to have to do it.
You may have to do it right now. You step outside, and Bridget is going to pull up the map one more time. So you are currently in the hospital. You're going to step outside from the general tents is where the majority of the screaming is coming. But you know the sensation of being watched. You've been hunting for 20, 25 years now. You know the sensation of being hunted. And you don't know why you know this, but you know that one of these creatures is on the roof behind you and that it's looking down at you.
I'll immediately turn around to look up.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm expecting to see at this point.
Clever girl.
Clever girl. You turn around, and shifting its weight on 3 shoulders on the front are 3 massive lion paws, inky black, attached to, I'm just going to throw up your picture if I can. I always break something. There we go. Attached to this monstrous form of a lion with 3 shoulders across the front, 2 on the back, and its mane is filled with this undulating sea of these porcupine quills, and running across the front of its face are 3 separate eyes, and the eyes are in the following colors. One is blue, one is red, one is green, and it's adjusting its weight. You can see that it's putting its weight on its back hunches as 3 claws dig and tear, coiling up the edges of this metal hospital. And you know for a fact it's getting ready to shake. Just everything that you're seeing from this cat, this is a cat that looks like it's getting ready to shake its head. But you still have the initiative.
Yeah, I want to take a shot at it.
Okay. Now, unless I'm wrong, I suck at Cthulhu combat, but unless I'm wrong, with your martini rifle, no. What do you have? You have something sexier, don't you?
Yeah, Martini Henry rifle.
There we go. You could make 3 attacks if you want. You can take 1 and just have the time of your life, or you can take 3 attacks. You just have to take a penalty die on the second and the third attack.
I think this is a situation that calls for overkill, so I'll go for the 3 shots.
Look at you. I love it. So roll your first one regular, and then the 2 next ones are subsequent penalty die. But you've got bonus dice to counteract these if you want to. Ooh, holy shit.
First shot is a 48, which is a success.
I can't dodge bullets.
Second one, where the penalty dice. That's a 52, which is a success.
Well done, babe.
Third one, is it still 1 penalty dice?
It'd be 2 on this one.
That's an 88. That's a miss.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that beautiful beam footage on this damage on the 2 shots that did land. Oh, this is good damage.
So that's a D8 plus D6 plus 3.
Jesus. So was that 2d8 plus 2d6 plus 6? This will be a lot of damn damage, guys. Fuck me.
That's what we need.
That's 20.
Is that the sum of your damage is 20 points?
Yep.
Ooh. Let me go talk to the lions and see if they survive that one. Okay, it's not a kill shot, but damn, did you get its full attention? Give me narrative on what this looks like, Irene.
Remind myself what it looks like.
Yeah, just give us some narrative on what this looks like as you turn around and spin on it.
Yeah, I think the first shot goes straight into the middle leg.
Oof.
And the second one is just above that. By the third one, I think the recoil is getting to me, and that goes over its head.
Beautiful, beautiful. That first leg damn near gets blown off, and the shot before it goes directly into the shoulder and the hip before it, and you can see this entire creature roar and bellow with pain as it almost falls over because it was bracing itself on those 3 legs. It gathers itself and it looks down to you with 3 eyes full of hatred, and I do believe I go next. The 3 of you who have not acted yet, you've heard the scream of Simba's. And you look into the direction of the general tents, which is in eyesight. It's not that far. And it's a sight that you'll never forget. It looks like someone just took a massive bucket of red paint and threw it across 3 tents. And it doesn't make any sense that you can hear a splash from so far back, but there's just this moment of splash, and 3 of those yellowed out canvas tents just get completely sprayed with blood as a roar calls out, and crewmen go running in every direction possible. There's one crewman that doesn't scamper. This is Arjun, the larger Indian man that came and got you guys. He is walking directly towards the actions as, everyone else is running away. And you just notice from the distance that one crewman, an Indian, has scampered out from underneath the tent that's sprayed with blood. He's sprayed with blood. He looks left. He looks right. He goes to run towards the platform, and he face plants and gets snatched back underneath the canvas. Directly above you, Miss Irene Beckett, this thing looks to you with hatred-filled eyes, just as Addie steps out of the door and goes, "What is it? Where are they?" And it starts to shake its mane. And when it shakes its mane, there's this undulating, almost hypnotic moment as these quills move back and forth, and then they spring out in absolutely every direction. It looks like a grenade has just gone off as these quills go in rapid speed in multiple directions. I need from you, my love, a dodge check. I'm going to roll one for Addie too.
That's a success.
Bravely done. Multiple of these quills start spinning down at you. You're able to move your shoulder left as one just cuts right through, in between your flank and the inside of your arm. Another one cuts between your legs, and you're able to move your hips and jump out of another one. Addie, who looks up, who screams right as the quill comes, managed to just turn that door at the last minute, and those quills go through the metal of the door, but you can recognize it. It's a thinly made hospital with thin sheet metal, as previously described. The quills are actually penetrating through the hospital. You can hear various screams from inside. You can see these quills hitting various crewmen that are running back and forth. That was my turn. Zwadi.
I immediately look towards the colonel and the doctor, and then I start running towards the camp.
Okay.
Pulling out my rifle.
I am not going to eat your entire action on running, especially with us having 30 minutes of the game to go. So keep going.
Running to try and get a better perspective. Do I see Arjun just sort of walking towards?
You do. You see him on the slow motion. You see him on the slow motion badass walk into the violence. Yeah. He's not armed though.
And can I see what's going on at the hospital as well?
Yeah, I'll actually just give you that, because that creature is still on top of the hospital. Actually, if that was its action, it would have moved. So you see this massive 5-legged creature with a head full of quills, a mane full of quills running by. You can give me your sanity check for that now too, by the way.
All right. That's a 61, which I think is definitely no, actually, because of the earlier sand, I'm at a 69, so I succeeded.
Woo! You're only going to take 2 for this one. Really fast. Irene, did I give you sand loss for seeing Alliance?
No, I don't think you did.
Can we do your sand check really fast? I'd love to crank out this Bout of Madness deck if I can. Boo. 2 loss. Just a 2 loss. So yeah, Perry, you've got the tail end of one of these lions running away.
And now seeing it is like, this is... No, I was running as seeing that what this is, and at which point I'm dropping the gun.
Okay.
And you'll see him sort of rip open his jacket and reach in for the medicine bag he's got under his cloak, and is just gripping it and beginning to say a prayer to the ancestors.
Oh, well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay. Okay.
So that's his action.
I love it. Chase.
Right.
Will's
Time for
like,
tomfoolery.
why?
We saw everything that just happened. Did I see Addie? Okay, so I don't care about anything else. I'm going to sprint to the hospital.
Okay.
Can we say that I get in there and see that he is or is not okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also going to say you run in that direction. You're going to see this lion too. So you can give me your sand check.
It's worth it.
Worth
Let's do it.
Dr. Chase has a soft spot. What you roll, Will?
I feel hard with a 97.
I feel so hard.
Is this something to push?
You can't push a
don't
sand
know.
check,
Oh,
unfortunately.
you can't push sanity.
Mm-mm.
I just take it.
You can't burn luck. You can't push it. We're just going to eat this one together. Let's see how bad I got you. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is 3 points of sand loss.
Oh, nothing.
You're
Okay,
good.
okay.
You've got this.
This is the moment that we start losing all of our sanity. I
Right.
know. So
Now, as a heads up, please let me know if you hit your 20% threshold. If you've lost 20% of your sanity, I need you to flag that for me.
if not,
I don't know if that's a fumble or not, babe. His sand is, or her sand is definitely above 50, so chances are not.
no.
Yeah, but good question. All right.
Yeah, I would love to make it in here. Addie, are you all right?
Oh, it's on the roof. It's on the roof. It's on the roof. It's on the roof.
It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna stay in here, and everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna search his body. Is there a quill anywhere in him?
You're searching his body. You're searching his body. He's still screaming. It's on the roof. And from what you can tell, he has not been. There's no lacerations. There's no punctures. There's nothing. And he grabs either side of your face and he looks to you. He says, "I'm okay. But what about the people
Well, sure.
here?"
Very long time ago, you came to me hurt. And it was my job to take care of you, right? It's my job to take care of all of these people. It's not your job, it's mine. So here's what's going to happen. You take this, and this is the key now to the medicine cabinet instead of. You get those quills out of there, and you put yourself in there. Yes? Right. You do what you can do, I'll do what I can do. Be safe, and I will kiss him on the forehead.
Oh, God.
And that's probably as much of my turn as I can take here.
Oh, God. The regurgitation of that "be safe" really hurts. He takes the key with tears running down his face, and he runs into the back. You can hear a lock disengaging. You can hear a door flinging open, a metal door flinging open. Patterson.
Yeah, I think this is I don't know. I don't know how much in denial he is about, like, I think the comment from Swadwe really rattled him. Swadwe, and like I don't know what their relationship is. We haven't explored that dynamic, but I think I'd like to say that that's sort of like more frank than Swadwe has ever been to his face before. So it's like the first sort of like, you know, okay, so like the doctor did some serum stuff, but this is like, you know, he's being serious. And then I turn around and see these lions, so then it's like, but they're quills, and like I don't know. I don't feel like. Anyway, I think the proximate issue is to go and do what I can as far as like attacking or whatever. I think that he doesn't have his gun with him. I don't think that's something that he would be like carrying around like a normal workday.
Okay.
So I think if this is all popping off, he's probably got his officer saber, but not like his rifle on him. It wasn't his job to go hunt the lions, you know.
Right.
But they're here now, so we're going to go do something. And I think, I mean, the fact that Arjun was going in is that's I think where his attention was drawn to, like, you know, to go and help with that situation, like whatever's happening in the camp, right?
Yeah.
Because I probably heard the shots from Irene and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and cover that distance, probably pulling out my saber and probably shouting, not necessarily to anyone in particular, like sort of like intending, like, you know, arm yourselves, get the guns, here they are, like, you know, and I'll probably like just, but he's not, I think it's sort of like, I think this is sort of like suddenly become above his pay grade, right?
Yeah.
So he's trying to close that distance, and he's got his saber, and he's gonna, if he gets close enough, he'll yell, he'll hack, he'll do something, but he's sort of I think a little flustered by this situation. So I don't know how much distance I can cover, but I'm headed toward the main camp where the biggest splash, where that splash occurred, and where Arjun was headed.
And I'm not, again, we've got 30 minutes left in the game. I'm not going to waste like movement time on you guys.
Right,
and plus,
right.
that's just not fun anyways, at least not to me. So I'm just going to say you're able to get, I love the way to dial into the horror and acknowledge that you didn't have your weapon with you, because Bridget wouldn't have cared one way or the other. But I just love that that's the direction that you took. Way to buy into the horror.
Well, yeah, I was planning to like organize a hunt party next, and then here the party showed up.
But the party showed up early. Yeah, you blame Will.
Mm-hmm.
So... blame Will. I'll explain the talk back afterwards. So you're running through, past, and around people. It's one of those things that, you know, you're running full speed, you're giving orders, you're looking at these tents, like one topples over in front of you in just a flash of black. You're barking sometimes, like, you know, arm yourselves to weapons, and, you know, somebody knocks into you and you both fall to the ground and you scramble, you take off in your different directions. There's so much screaming, shots are ringing out all over the camp, and you get into your tent and you're able to pull your martini rifle and you open.
No, I wasn't going for my rifle. I'm going to where the lions are attacking my men.
Where the lions? Okay.
With only my sword.
With only your sword.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're going to the tents that are toppling over, that are covered in blood. It's an absolute scene of carnage in front of you. These lions aren't eating, they're mauling. And it looks like they're having a really fun time doing it. You might see just a stray limb where like a black foot might still be twitching, but it's been like, you know, severed off right above the knee. There's another gentleman. You remember him. It's Ali. He was always really, really, really good about telling great campfire stories. He's slumped up against a tent. It looks like his entire rib cage has just been completely open. His eyes are looking at you as his head is draped down. And you pull out your saber and you can hear this mighty crunch. And you don't want to try to even comprehend how many bones just shattered in the sound of this crunch. And padding by you almost merrily is one of these ginormous black cats. It has one of your crewmen locked into its mouth, and it's dragging him from underneath, almost like you would see a leopard do with a gazelle that's getting ready to climb a tree. Only its 3 legs are super proud of itself, and it's like shaking its head. These quills are moving. The guy in its mouth is still alive. Barely. What's dripping and pouring out of him. He should not be alive, but he looks to you. He barely manages to yelp help as this lion just looks to you with this thing in its mouth and continues padding by.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to try and, I don't know, stab it in the shoulder or something, like hack at it.
I love it. Give me a fighting brawl.
Yeah.
And that is on your skill list, first column. You're rolling a percentile.
Get to the die roller first. Let's find
column.
Out.
Right.
Ooh.
Bridget got all these damn tabs open.
I know. I got more tabs. Wait, fighting brawl. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm not great at that.
You're not. Now, unfortunately, you can't push combat rolls, but you can burn a fuck ton of luck.
I was gonna.
Yeah, you can burn a fuck ton of luck if you want to.
No. I think Patterson, like I said, he's above his pay grade here. He's kind of like made a foolhardy decision to just like, yeah, I'll hit you with a sword, and like it doesn't connect. Like that's not a thing that was going to be effective in
Yeah.
this situation.
You swing through and all you're catching is quills. You knock, 10, 15 of them to the ground as you just slice them cleanly, but didn't actually make contact with whatever this thing is. I need a sanity check from you, please.
Oh yeah. And you said the 20% thing, is that like of the 100 sanity total or just of my starting?
Of where you are now is what you're rolling against. So all the
Okay.
losses that you've had so far, you're rolling under that number.
Well, no, you said so before, like let me know if you get to the 20%. I was just clarifying what number that is.
Yeah, so your sanity is your sanity box. When you hit 20% of that number,
Ooh.
let me know. Oh shit, this might get fun.
Yeah. That's a fail for the
Okay.
sanity.
I'm proud of you. It's okay. You're only gonna take 4 loss on this one. If it was
Alright,
5, it would have
alright.
been a lot more interesting. But here we go. I'm ticking away. Actually, with 20 minutes left, I should have just upped it to like a D8. But whatever. Here we are. Beckett. The lion is no longer in view on top of the hospital.
Did I see which way it went?
Yes, looks like it's retreated to the rear of the hospital. And then you saw the plumes of smoke on either side, and you heard the thunk of earth as it obviously landed on the back door of the hospital.
I'm going to sprint round to look for it.
Okay. You sprint around to look for it, and you catch it. Its mouth full of metal sheeting as it's getting ready to just tear the entire rear wall of this hospital off.
I'm going to have to take another shot at it, try and stop it.
Okay, let's do the damn thing.
At the very least distracted. So can I go for 3 shots again?
You sure can. This is what you were born to do.
So first shot. That's a hard success.
Holy shit.
Second shot would have been very good without the penalty dice, but that's a 76, so I could spend 6 luck to make that a success.
Oh, but do you?
Yes, I will.
Yes! Worth it.
And the third one. Yeah, that's a 41, which is a pass.
3 shots. I can skip all damage accumulation. Just tell me what the kill looks like.
I think by this point I've finally identified where the weak spot on this thing is.
Yeah.
And it's probably that open mouth.
I love it.
Nice.
So, yeah. I've got my eye in now. I'm ready for the recoil, so it's just 3 shots straight down its throat.
Bam. 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 The second one kills it, but why not always go for good measure? You're a dedicated, very disciplined, very effective hunter. And that third shot goes already down the throat of a corpse as just this thing flumps to the ground.
And then I will yell to anyone in earshot, don't touch it.
Good call. Zwadi, you are praying right now with your hand gripped around your medicine bag. What are you doing on this round?
Spinning on my heels and running for Walsh's cart.
Okay.
I grab the body and drag it out of the back of it, hop on it, and start riding it outward, and it's basically screaming to the others, "Get on! We're getting out of here!"
This is dope. This is dope, babe. Roll me 2d12, please. A weird roll to call for, right? But here we go.
looks like 16.
16 people are how many people you're able to get either jumping onto the horse, jumping into the wagon, hanging off the side of the wagon, that are covered in blood, or are fleeing or running. Give me narrative of what this looks like, because that's a really dope call.
So came riding in on it, in just barreling towards the middle, going past the leadership tents, trying to sort of drift, shall we say, on this cart, just to get into position to get as many people on there and pulled so that the back of the wagon is as much towards the tent that where most of my people are. I'm not really that concerned about the leadership tent, and I'm screaming at them to get on, waving for them to get on there, and as much as possible. And I'm letting as many as I get on as I can. And hate to use this reference, much of what we saw in Afghanistan, anyone who's holding on is holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
As that plane takes off, as I whip the horse into getting us out on the road.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautifully, stunningly beautiful. I love it. Oh, I gotta love it so much.
And we're just riding away.
You're like, fuck this shit. We are out. Chase.
Yes. Do I also have eyes on Karibo here?
Yeah. She has tucked herself beneath one of these beds. Patients are freaking out. They can hear the gunshots. They can hear Simba. That back door was almost torn off. They can hear the growling. And she is tucked underneath one of the beds, holding her ears, and rocking if she had the headspace to do it, but she doesn't. So she's just tucked down deep.
She is not visibly hit in any kind of way?
Nope. Looks like she's okay.
Okay.
Some of your other patients weren't so lucky, but she's okay.
Is anybody, have I witnessed anybody be struck by a quill at this moment? Okay.
Yep. Let me say, out of you had 7 patients in there. 4 of them have active quill wounds where they're, pulling the quills out, or a quill may have stapled a hand to the bed and they're trying to figure out whether to push it through or pull it out.
Okay. Are any of them people that I have exposure to? Like, I know everybody here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would like to find the one that I like the most.
Yeah. Let's do stapled hand as the one you like the most.
Okay. And not in like a true sense of like, this isn't a malaria patient who's going to die. This is someone who has a chance at life, right?
Yeah.
So like,
this is someone recovering from a fractured something or another, probably in their leg. This is Gopal, one of the Indians.
Gopal. Okay. I'm going to walk up to Gopal. In his language, I'm going to say trust. And I'm going to shake my head and wait for a response.
He nods back. He doesn't respond, but he nods back. His eyes are wild as he's looking at his hand stapled to the mattress with this quill.
I'm going to grab this. I'm going to, with my handkerchief, I'm going to now finally take this off so that I smell all the smells instead of my perfume. I'm going to grab this quill through the handkerchief,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to lift it up so that he's no longer pinned into the table. And immediately I'm going to take out my scalpel that is not covered in serum, and I'm going to look for the vein or the artery that will connect this, like, because you said once it goes to the blood, right, is like when it's gonna take its effect. I'm going to make a small incision, and like you did it this time with a snake bite, I'm going to try and suck this venom out.
Holy shit. Give me a medicine, please.
I can do that. I have medicine. I know medicine. Oh. Is this a like meets it, beats it kind of thing? Because I hit exactly my
meets
number.
It, beats it.
Okay, great.
Okay. Do you remember, Dr. Chase, there was this lovely girl who you were in medical school with. She had this whole infatuation with tea. She loved tea. it was always tea time for her, just 24/7 tea. And she had a black tea that had a strong hint of clove in it right now. Your memory immediately pulls you back to sipping tea in her courtyard with this clove black tea that she would always concoct as one of her favorites. That's what you're tasting right now as you're pulling blood from Gopal. Patterson, you guys got lucky. I forgot that the lions went before chasing Patterson, so I'm not going to correct it now. I'm going to correct it here in a second, though. Patterson.
Yeah, this lion that I attacked.
I'm so sorry. Can I just clarify too? I'm spitting that out. I'm not ingesting it.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
great.
Just, it's going to hit your tongue. That's what you taste. You're spitting that out.
Is this my attack? Was it did it draw this thing's attention at all, or is it like just ignoring me and gone now, or is there?
It's prancing right now. It's still in front of you. It's not far in front of you, but did it draw its attention? No. It is unafraid of you. You are nothing to it. This thing it's playing around with, the guy that's still alive, that's
sure
weeping from like the top of his chest cavity down to his groin, is not, but it's a happy kitty playing with a happy toy.
I would like to quickly check the ground, because like I think I've started to come back to my senses, and like, is there a better weapon immediately available to me, or is this what I got? Like I ran in here, have if this is what I got, I'll go with it. But like, if there's something,
let's see if you can get lucky. Roll me a luck
better
check.
Available, I might reconsider my initial choice to run in with only a saber.
He's like, listen, I don't know if I want to be the hero anymore. So your luck is in that center column underneath your hip hunks. It's a 60. You're going to roll a D100 underneath there.
Sure. Happy to.
Let's see if one of these fleeing people.
That's a 77.
Over
That's
60.
Not under 60.
I was totally going to give you a free martini rifle in the event that some guy pulled out a gun, but you're looking around.
This might be some time to consider spending some of that luck. Is that a thing I can do at this moment?
You can't spend luck on luck, unfortunately. I have tried for years. I have tried for years.
Makes sense. I'm learning so much about Call of Cthulhu, Bridget.
It's in real time. Well, welcome to the game, babe. We're delighted to have you. Lex.
Right. So, I mean, it needs must, right? I look around, nothing's better. Gonna go for what I got. I need to like get closer to this thing. And, I mean, I've got enough experience with hunting animals myself that like, I know you got to go for the heart of something. So I got to get close. I got to get closer than I want to and just kind of jab in there and see what I can do.
Oh God. I hope you make it. Give me that fighting brawl, baby.
I don't have a great thing.
But you got a big heart. That's what's important right here.
That's right. This is.
Oh, I'm looking at this.
Always come up with an under roll. There you go. 22. That's under my fighting. So.
That is amazing. So you go in with the saber. This creature has one of two options. It can fight back or it can dodge. And per my previous articulation, this thing is not afraid to die because it doesn't think you can actually hurt it. So it's going to fight back. Everybody send thoughts and prayers. Okay. You got a regular success, babe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just...
Kitty got a hard success. I'm going to pull up Kitty's damage. So it got a level of difficulty higher than you. So your saber goes in. You're in close. You're going for what you can only imagine the heart could be. And that's when you look into this thing's 3 multicolored eyes. It almost looks like its jaw unhinges to drop just a bit as it drops the guy onto the floor that's gurgling blood out of his mouth. He comes in with a bite. God, who wrote this monster up? It was you, Bridget. You wrote it up. So, Lieutenant Colonel John Patterson, you got a letter last month that your wife was pregnant. She's convinced, you're convinced it's going to be a boy. and you started writing letters back to your wife and to your future son. You knew you'd have this bridge completed by then, but things happen. Tell us about the letter that you wrote either to your wife or to your son, that last letter that hit the post going back home, because that's going to be the last thing you remember before this thing bites you in half.
I think I realized that it was full of inanities. I was telling her about the weather and like the meterage of completion on the pilings, like nothing important. And then it ends with like a perfunctory, like, oh, all my love to you and the baby or something like that. Like it's just like as if it's like, oh man, I should have told her something better than that. Like she doesn't care about the meterage or the pylons. But yeah, I think that's what occurs to him as he sees this maw coming at him.
And you barely feel a thing other than the disappointment that you didn't put more value in that last letter to your wife, because that's going to be the last tangible thing she has to remember you by. Zwadi, while you are on the road getting the fuck out of Dodge, there are fires burning at camp behind you. There are screams and wails. The people on the cart with you are sobbing or hyperventilating or trying to comfort each other. Many of them are praying prayers that you know. And off in the distance, the entire cart falls quiet because just against the setting African sun, you can see the silhouette. It's not a silhouette though, is it? You've actually seen these things. They're just actually all black. You've been misinterpreting them as a silhouette, but they're actually just black monsters. You can see one of them loping through the tall grass, and as it lopes and you guys head a direction, every path that it makes through the brown grass just gets stained with red as it lopes and runs in a opposite direction from the direction that you're going with. I'm going to call for sunset scenes at this point because we are at 4:55, which is 5 minutes prior to the point that I told you that game would end. Let's stick with Zawadi right now. What happens? What happens to Zawadi and the 16 on the cart?
We make it back to one of the closest villages, and I will send a report to the committee that the work was attacked, unaware of how many people survived other than us, and that it would behoove you to respect our culture and our ancestors, and I hereby resign. And I'm going to just disappear into the canyon landscape.
Dr. Chase? I will give you this much in your tee up. A third of the camp disappears, along with Wash and any of your patients that you didn't suck the blood out of, that venom. Within 2 or 3 minutes, they all stand up, and they all slow march somewhere into the distance, being called by something. Now you can do your sunset, just in case you wanted to incorporate that.
I'm going to stay in the camp.
Okay.
I will never get the taste of clove out of my mouth. It does not matter how much brandy I drink. It is always there. And every night I have a glass of brandy and I pour one for Miss Irene, whether or not she's there. Sue, it's up to you. If you end up leaving, then it'll just be an unpoured glass that sits there every night.
Oh, that is so beautiful, though. Oh.
And I will sit with my back against the medicine cabinet that held Adi. And I have a revolver with 3 shots. And if one of those lions ever comes back in, I have 1 bullet for each of the eyes.
Stunning. And Irene.
I am going to stay at the camp because clearly somebody has to. And I have a reasonable track record against these things so far. My main concern at this point is really this girl who has unexpectedly come back into my life. Because I owe Karubo. So I've got to stay with her. And hopefully she'll be willing to stay with me. That's it. Never did find a husband, but it looks like I found a daughter instead.
And that, friends of the symphony, is where our show ends for tonight. Thank you so much to everyone who joined in and or is currently watching the replay. You guys are indeed the best part of waking up. We sincerely appreciate you. I am going to do this giveaway. And let's see who is going to be walking off with a free PDF and softcover copy of River Tsavo. It is Luna Leche. Congratulations. I don't know if you're still here in chat, but if not, I will do my very best to get that to you through Twitch Messenger. And if not, if you come back and watch this, just email me at Symphony Entertainment GA, that's for gaming and arts, at gmail.com. Cast and crew are going to take a brief break, and then we're going to come back and do our post-Symphony Gala, which is basically getting the cast and crew's impression of the episode, meet their awesome pets, or anything else. You do have to be a backer of Symphony to get access to this content, so here's your backer plug. Feel free to back us on Symphony at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. If you want to hang out with us on Discord, most of us are over there hanging out and being useless and setting up thirst traps all day and every day and twice on Sundays. And if you miss a chat, you can get a link to all of our social medias on our website at symphonyentertainment.com. So stay tuned for more amazing content run by creators right here on Symphony's Twitch and YouTube. This upcoming Wednesday, Evan Perlman is going to be running... There's your flyer. In Strange Seas, which is Call of Cthulhu, Regency Cthulhu on the Royal Navy. That is going to be an absolute blast. Before we empty out the auditorium, let's go around one more time and say goodnight to our symphonic cast, starting with Matt. Baby, close us out. Give us your name, where people can find you, and some of the cool things that you do.
Sure. My name's Matthew Orr. I'm the creative director for Wet Ink Games. We have a Kickstarter coming up literally in like 3 days.
Woo woo!
We're never going home. We're doing not too many years distant. We're doing, it's a campaign dossier. We're going to do 1914 and 1918, bracketing the war. We've already done the 3 years in between. So this is the beginning and the end is what we're calling it. That's on easily, we've been sharing the link, putting it out there. We're gearing up for thinking about con seasons. So we got Never Going Home. We've got a haunted house exploration game written by Doug Lewandowski and Julian Kim. That is, I think there's some sessions of it at Origins. So, if you want to go play it there, you could maybe play it there before it's released. So there's some highlights of what it is. You can find us on basically all the socials at Wet Ink Games or at wetinkgames.com.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on a really epic death.
Yeah.
Welcome to Call of Cthulhu. Will, hit us, baby.
Hi, friends. My name is Will. Bridget, thank you again for having me. I have nothing to plug because this is the only cool thing I've done in a very long time. So I really appreciate the time, but I will pass it on to whoever's next so that they can plug stuff instead.
Really fast, just in case you missed it, Will. Chad is saying thank you so much for all the shade throwing. Unprecedented shade the whole game.
I'm glad to be able to do that outside of my regular life. So any chance that I get to be someone else that can be that way is always a hoot.
That's amazing. Sue, baby, hit us.
My name is Sue Savage, and I generally go by Savage Spiel on most places on the internet. I've written a bunch of urban fantasy scenarios for the game Liminal, and my own game, a British cozy mystery game, Matrons of Mystery. And the link that went past in the chat at some point will take you to my drive-through RPG page, which will be willing to sell you both of those. And you can also find me at a lot of UK conventions. So if you want to come and play my games, just look out for my name at those.
Amazing. Thank you so much again for Sue. Chad is right now talking about that heartbreaking scene that you had. That was sexy. Perry, hit us, baby.
Hello, I'm Perry Clark, licensed marriage and family therapist. So most of the time you find me at my practice, Untangle and Grow Counseling. Otherwise, you can catch me on my podcast, Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered, with a variety of topics, generally always centering around mental health, but as well as our enjoyment of geekdom as well. And I'll be at Kubla Khan, both playing and running part of the Mega Dungeon with the Knights of the Fourth Wall.
Perry, we love you. You are a leather daddy and our velvet voice. Cass, thank you so much for kicking off Miskatonic May with me. I don't know if Gabriel's in the fame, but apparently he wants to join in for the conclusion too. We hope that you have enjoyed the symphony, and guys, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Have an absolutely wonderful night. Bye. I'm waiting for the Bucho angel face to see if I can actually close the stream successfully. We'll see what happens.